Phoenix Business Exchange East End Edition. That's fine 29th of November. Getting close to the year end. Here we go. A couple of quick reminders. Just send in your stats into Tony for the month of November. As well, just a December 9th is the Christmas party. All folks are welcome. And check the calendar, and it is a fee-driven event, so it's $10 plus HST. And with that all said, we're going to swing over to Mike. And Mike, you're doing the next stage of the wisdom.
Great. Thank you, Bernie. I'll try to add to what you've added. So this morning, well, hopefully everybody's doing well. And wow, less than a month away from Christmas. It's incredible how fast time is going, and less than a month away before most people have their year end of their business. Have you got your business plans already built for next year? A lot of people do make the mistake and start in January 1st. And before you know it, it takes them a while and they get rolling in February or March or whatever. So they get behind the wheel, so to speak. So this morning, I want to talk about take back control of your life. And here are 3 ideas to stay in control. So focus, what you can control. Focus on what you truly need and want. And focus on where you want to be and how you want to be. Individuals are focusing on things that they cannot control. People, circumstances, the environment, and other issues. The daily news and the social media brings your attention to 80% of what keeps you stuck, your past, your problems, and what you do not have. All out there in place where you think or feel a solution exists. This leaves you, or some people, in a state of powerlessness and lack, and a feeling of hopelessness and uninspired. The solution is to set an intentional focus on what you do want and what's positive and inspiring to you. So I invite you to look inward for what you truly need. Set an intentional positive attitude and keep that top of mind. Choose to do one thing every day that takes the next smallest positive step towards that goal. Have a great day and take time to explore the silence inside of you, and it'll reveal your ability to create what you need. And I'm just going to finish up here with a little poem that I came across. I slept and I dreamt that life was joy. I awoke and saw life was duty. I worked and behold, duty was joy. Back to you, Bernie.
Mike, thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Well,
Now
sir.
we'll start off with Guy. Guy, do your intro, please, sir.
Good morning. ASCO Restoration. We're a company that has multiple divisions. However, we don't just necessarily deal with emergency response. Essentially, our core for this division is if there's any fires, floods, we go in, we take care of the mitigation, and then we rebuild. What I do is I take care of the large losses. So when there's a fire burnt down to the ground, house has to be rebuilt. I coordinate and I get the house back up to however it was before the loss. But we also take care of projects as well as private projects. So we take care of everybody's desires to either rebuild their house, extensions, additions, even renovations in the home. ASCO Restorations, we're not only disaster.
Guy, thank you so much. And just as a quick note, here is the LinkedIn Live link to post your content and details. Please capitalize on that. Sam, over to you, sir.
Thank you, Bernie. Morning, everybody. Sam Sturz, connectedcars.ca. There's my contact information in the chat. Oh, show off my my T-shirt, my logo. Anyway, let's see. I do all kinds of electronics in cars, dash cameras, things like that. But today I want to talk about an experience I had just last week. Customer of mine, I worked on his wife's Toyota. He has a fairly new 22 Explorer. And he went to the dealer for some servicing and got a quote for a cabin air filter for $250 installed. And he kind of went, yeah, that sounds a little high. So he gave me a call and I said, there's no way that thing's worth $250. So I went out and he actually paid retail. I went to Canadian Tire, bought a Fran air filter for that vehicle. cost $35 and I installed it for $40 more. So if you get a quote from a dealer or any mechanic and it seems a little unreasonable, give me a call and I'm gladly give you a price if I can do it, or recommend you to somebody that if I can. Sam Sturris, ConnectedCars.ca, today's mobile electronics without the cost of a new vehicle and a heck of a lot more.
Sam, thank you so much. Tanya, over to you, ma'am.
Hello, everybody. My name is Tanya Hewitt from Beyond Safety Compliance, coming from the unceded, unsurrendered territories of the Algonquin and Anishinaabe peoples. A lot of the Western cultures are based upon climbing the corporate ladder. But a lot of the Eastern cultures have this idea of the ikigai. And it's the intersection of, what you can get paid for, what the world needs, what you're good at, and what you love to do. If all four of those things align, then you're living your ikigai. So as Mike said, there are a few of those things that are not in your control, but some of them are. Often when people go to get hired at companies, they put forth their resume and all of their experiences and their, where they've worked. Very rarely do they highlight what they love. And very rarely do employers actually look for that. With the Working Genius model, you can start to tap into what really is the intrinsic abilities of people and match that to the work. That's one of the things that Beyond Safety Compliance can give workplaces. Beyond Safety Compliance, how does your work look?
Tanya, thank you so much. Hey, Mike, you, go ahead.
Hey, thank you. Morning, everybody. Mike with We Care Focus. Yesterday, a man was texting while driving, and because he was distracted while driving, he caused an accident, and sadly, he died at the accident scene. That was yesterday. Today, here's the message he relayed to his family and friends for the upcoming holidays. Thing can be deadly. Focus, drive, arrive.
Mike,
Okay,
point
Bernie.
well taken. Mike, point well taken. Wendy, over to you.
Good morning, everyone. Wendy Chung, real estate broker, owner with Century 21 Synergy. I learned a very valuable lesson last weekend with regards to quantity versus quality. So Tony and Tanya attended one of my first buyer seminars in a long time. And at first, it was difficult to get people to commit to come out and participate in this home buyer seminar. And at the end of the day, the conversations that we had in that room, although there are only a few of us, was of a very high quality. So I really appreciate the quality of the conversation and the questions and the discussions. And I believe that that's the way we need to go. It's not about getting so many people in a room, but it's about getting the few in the room that are interested in the topic and that are going to participate. So I want to thank Tanya and Tony for coming out, and also to put that message out to all of you. It's not about the quantity, but it's about the quality of the experience that you bring to your clients. Thank you.
Wendy, thank you so much. Dave.
Hi, everyone. It's Dave Belleville from Belleville's Quality Frozen Foods. Your meat guy of the group. I just want to tell you, everyone, that tomorrow is the deadline. I'm taking Mike's word to heart there. Just do the deadline first, and it's tomorrow for smoked salmon for Christmas. So keep that in mind. The other thing is there people be doing celebrations in the month of December, celebrating stuff. And if you ever hear somebody going to a steakhouse, just tap them on the shoulder and say, the price is good that you're going to pay over there. Go see Dave, because you'll be able to eat 4 times more. And I say that comfortably because part of your bill at the restaurant is a 20% tip and a 13% tax. And it doesn't take long for that $400 or $500 bill to turn into $600. So anyway, that's my word of advice for this week, and have a good week, everybody. We have some couple bags of fresh wings available, and I have a package of smoked salmon available this week. So anybody interested, give me a call.
Dave, thank you so much. Susan Ebbs, over to you, ma'am.
Good morning. Thank you very much, Bernie. Excuse me. You're going to want your house to smell fresh when you've got all those people coming in. We have a fantastic air sprayer. It's non-aerosol. This part on the top comes off and you reload this bottom part. So we're saving the environment by not putting more bottles into the environment, and you get multiple uses. And this top spray part is reusable. It doesn't, you don't have to keep buying one. So you're saving yourself money there. A little spray goes a long ways. This is, let me see, I can never get the words right. Sea salt, there's tropical fruit, and there's blood orange and sage. And I think we even have a Christmas special scent in there too. So why not freshen up your home? Great point to get your home ready for selling, because they say that if you have a nice smell in the house, that will help with making the sale. Susan Ebbs for all your non-toxic cleaning needs. Thank you.
Susan, thank you so much. Tony, over to you, sir.
Thank you, Bernie. Yeah, it also makes a big difference when you're selling your home. Make sure the house is smelling nice. And I think Wendy knows a lot about that. I got a call from Penny Lee, so she's going to play her infomercial. And here is Penny Lee.
Morning, Penny Lee Prevost, the Dancing Motivator and co-founder of the Graduate Thrivers Incorporated. And today I wanted to remind you that it is time to think about what our objectives are for 2024. So this Sunday at 1 o'clock, I'm doing a virtual Vision to Victory workshop. And really, it's more than just slapping pictures and words on a Bristol board. What you get when you do the Vision to Victory workshop with me is the opportunity to understand what it is you really want, why you want it, and how to gain hyper focus. Also creating an emotional connection and tools that maximize your manifestation on how to represent the vision that you create. If you're ready for a positive change in your business and your life, then you are ready to take this workshop. If you're ready to make time to focus on what you want for 2024, then you are ready for this workshop. And if you are ready to stop dreaming and really take action, it's the time to do it. So I invite you to connect with me. It's $97 for a two-part workshop. First part is this Sunday, 1 to 3. Graduate is where success takes flight.
And hi, everybody. Tony Jennis from Higher Self. I'm the spirit guy of the group. Recently, I posted a note on a platform called Nextdoor. It's a neighborhood app where neighbors get together and we're talking about different things. Somebody had posted that I'm looking for a job, just a job. And what Tanya was saying today is so applicable. You know, Tanya, you must be intuitive in this way, because I was going to talk about this morning. And one of the first things I said, and I was one of the first people that responded, was, what do you love to do in the job? And right away, I had a couple of people come in. What difference does it make what you love to do? You need a job, and that's it. It says, no, the first thing you want to do is, what do you love to do? And the person had a really hard time with it. She says, well, I can type and I could do this and I could do that. Oh, I didn't tell what your skills were. What do you love to do? You like to be outside? What do you like to be working with kids and elderly? Like, what is it? And not only was the person I was talking with very confused why I was asking these questions, but the people also, they didn't get it. They just wanted perhaps just a job. That's it. And we need to look further in really what makes us sing, because when we are asking the questions, what do we love to do? Chances are you're going to find a job that has a lot of those connotations in there. But if you're just looking for a job, you won't be happy with it. You will just be doing it just for the pay. Wouldn't it be nice to be liking the job and get paid? If you have any questions like this, give me a call. Tony Jennings from Hire Yourself, where we are here to make your day and raise your spirits.
Tony, thank you so much. My name is Bernie Fransgrout. Creative Insight Consultants is the name of the company. And what do? It's a business concierge. We connect businesses. We kind of find those sweet spots for other businesses. Knack for Business podcast is another element of that. And that is about people who are interviewing and talking about their business journeys and how they got there and golden nuggets. It's almost like looking for the C-suite of experts out in the field. The other element is the Property Wizard, which is about commercial real estate and investing inside that space. And that's just another element if you need to know more information. Then just tapping in finally is the World Referral Network. And we meet every Tuesday from 8 to 9. It's meant to be global. And since Phoenix is part of that, you're more than welcome to show in. It's no added cost, and you just get to meet more people. So if you're looking to expand horizon, they just might not be in the Ottawa Valley, but you never know what you need and what you learn. And now for our main act, our main speaker, Deirdre, over to you, ma'am.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Deirdre Dorson, and I'm the founder and lead designer of Eastborough Designs, a boutique interior design studio here in Ottawa, where I help clients and contractors and builders get ready for construction and renovation. So I feel as though this conversation today is long overdue, but I appreciate your patience. It's a little daunting to present to a new crowd, but I wanted to really think about the message that I wanted to talk about today and really be thoughtful with today's presentation. So I'm going to share my screen right now and we will get started.
So perfect.
There we are. All right. So I find that there's still a very large misconception of what an interior designer is or does. And there is a difference between an interior designer and an interior decorator. And so schooling is different, and typically specialties and focus are also going to be different. The way to, I guess, simplify or consider, what an interior designer does or is, they are somebody who essentially looks at the interior architecture of a home. So while, selecting fabrics and paint colors are all very important, it's not the only thing that an interior designer does. An interior designer will typically look at the spatial layout, the flow of a home or a space, and be able to suggest and best maximize how you can use your space moving forward. So today I wanted to talk about when to hire a designer of interiors. So when is the right time? So a lot of people, a lot of homeowners, I would say, have a very good eye or a knack for design. They already have a Pinterest board going and they've got all these design ideas of what they want to incorporate. But even if you have a knack for or a good eye, doesn't necessarily mean that you're great at the execution. And there's a lot of detail that goes into a design package to get ready for construction that a lot of people, a lot of designers, and sometimes even contractors are not really aware of. And so it is my job in the initial meeting with a client to educate them on what my role is and what I'm responsible for and how I will be able to best prepare you to go into the renovation or construction with confidence. So if you are looking for expert advice to create beautiful spaces with a specific timeline and budget, okay, that is a great time to hire a designer. If you are overwhelmed by the thought of tackling the to-do list and don't know where to start, right? So you've got all those ideas, you've got your list of requirements, but you don't really know the sequence, this is where I come in. If you're unsure of where to invest your money, This is a very important question. Being a homeowner myself, I'm able to talk and speak to that to find out, where we need to really prioritize those funds. If you are looking to do a facelift in order to flip or sell your home quickly, so quickly meaning within 5 years, hiring a designer is great timing. If you're looking to create a lifestyle in your forever home that is reflective of you and your family, hiring a designer is really, really key there, because we can talk about longevity. So basically, to answer the big question here, any time is the right time. If you are looking for expert advice to create a beautiful space with specific timeline and budget, here's what you do need to know. So these are the things that I would be talking about in a first consultation. Do you have a contractor in mind? And know when they are looking to book new jobs? Right. So it's all very well and good to even have, the design going. But if you don't have a contractor who has the ability to slot you into their schedule in a timely manner that you require the build, then it might be worth looking at a couple different quotes. So knowing the contractor's timeline is very important, because you also want to make sure that you have enough time prior to the renovation to order product and coordinate any exterior type of or external type of services, such as, appliance delivery and cabinetry delivery and so on. Is your renovation season or holiday dependent? So I bring this up because I face this more often than not. Homeowners are looking to renovate their kitchen and their daughter is getting married in 4 months. And they're going to have guests from out of town visiting. And so we've got this timeline, this really short timeline that we need to work within. So having that conversation about, when to work around holidays or big events is really important for the planning process. Product availability may dictate your renovation start date, as well as permit application and any pre-build process. So this is something that me as a designer, I go through with my clients, talking about that timeline and really educating about what we need to do to get you to the start of construction. So if your renovation, or obviously your build, requires a permit, there is quite a process involved in getting to that application point. And that is something that I oversee with my architectural team. Are you looking to renovate to sell in the near future, mid-range timeline, or is it a forever home? So when I speak to clients about these timelines, it's really to highlight what would be appropriate in terms of investment expectation. So clients who are looking to renovate in a short timeline, we might have a smaller budget to work with. Somebody who is looking to renovate or, build their forever home, it's a very different conversation. And bringing that to light for clients, I find, this like light bulb goes off and they go, oh, okay, I didn't really think of it that way, that it's worth investing in a long term. I don't need to be as concerned about a future buyer, and I'm designing for myself. Are you refinancing in order to free up some funds to renovate? That right now in our market is something that I have a conversation about all the time. And so right now, with the interest rates and refinancing on mortgage, it's talk that really does need to be had, and being part of that conversation with your clients. They feel typically that that you're really looking after their best interests. Having a discussion with your designer and contractor about realistic expectations of today's costs and installation and materials is key when it comes time to selecting finishes. And so doing this every day, I know what pricing is looking like. Clients, you typically don't do this every day. And so sometimes TV shows, for example, do a disservice to clients and give them a false sense as to what things cost. And so it's really up to the client or the designer and the contractor to get the clients on the same page, but we're all actually in the same book even about the cost nowadays for product and installation. I feel like I'm going to go over, so I'm going to try to be very quick here. If you're overwhelmed of the thought of tackling the to-do list, this is where you need to start. So making a list of all your requirements. what is working for you, what is not working for you, and describing how you want to use your space moving forward. So what I explain to clients is, just because you have a space that functions this way now does not mean that you necessarily want it to function that way moving forward. Creating a Pinterest board. So having a one spot where you break down all of your ideas and you comment on those images and what you like about those inspiration images. I can then see a common thread and pull those ideas to then create a complete and cohesive is the key, a cohesive feel for your space moving forward. Unsure of where to invest your money. So I find nowadays a lot of the homes that are being renovated are anything from like the 1960s, 1980s, 1990s, where a lot of these homes were very broken up and very segmented, and we're still in the space of wanting to have open concept. And so there's a lot of very formal living spaces, formal living, formal dining that are really not used, because that's, I find, how a lot of homeowners, we're getting to a more casual, more just a more comfortable living arrangement and also entertaining. And so if we can take those underutilized spaces and move them into what are your larger investment areas, such as like your kitchens or your bathrooms, and we can kind of reclaim that space, then you will be certainly much more comfortable in your new renovation, your new home. And speaking of kitchens and bathrooms, they are the two main areas that increase the value of a home. When you're renovating, you do really need to think about the neighborhood and what that neighborhood or that caliber of home is going to support in terms of finishes. So I talked about rearranging the layout of your home, knocking down some walls. I like to call it Tetrising your home. That is something that we can consider. Do you need more space? I mean, are we looking to add an addition, or do we need to, rip the roof off a bungalow and build the second story, right? If you're looking to do a facelift, something that is within the next 5 years for a sell, you're certainly going to be designing for a future buyer, and therefore you're not personalizing as much the home. So you're looking for an overall appeal to the public. The return on investment for renovations is about 60 to 75% in Ottawa. And so that is a pretty good return. And so when you're talking about personalizing the space, this is an area that you would want to be very careful that you're not investing too much money, because you are looking for a quick sell. Couple more slides here. Do I have like a couple more minutes?
Go for it. We have
go for it. Yep, go ahead.
Okay. And so when you are looking to create a lifestyle for your forever home, these are the things that you really need to consider. Your routine. I spoke about just because you use the space one way now does not mean you need to use that same space or same working area moving forward. Go with the flow. So creating that proper flow throughout the house, not just the room, but how the room also interacts to adjacent rooms. This is where your personality can really shine, and it is reflection of your personal style and the personality of you and your family. Going after those wish list items that you've always wanted. This is a really great kind of time frame to think about when you're going to do a design that a long-term plan for the home is, you can get those personal items that might not be as appealing to somebody else, but you've always really, really wanted it. It's really going to function for you and your family. So why not? And then, like I said, rearranging your space to best suit you and your family needs for a home that is function. And that type of design or rearranging of walls or relocation is typically what you see when clients are looking to stay in their home for 10 years plus. So really, again, the answer is any time is the right time, to hire a designer. You are going to be guided by somebody who has had, hopefully years of experience, like myself, almost 20 years of experience doing this specifically in Ottawa, understanding the market, and that expertise and that information and that exposure to other clients and contractors can be invaluable to, so you can talk about the what ifs. And so having those real conversations is very important. You know, yes, design is a lot of fun, but design is also very serious business. And I really try and show that value to the client so they really understand that it's not a designer taking advantage of these, you know, unlimited funds or, you know, carte blanche or no budget. I mean, even clients who have no budget have a budget. And so having that information, having that real talk, it's really to be able to present the best possible solution for a client. And so that is really the, you know, the purpose of working with a designer is being able to talk about things that maybe you didn't really know that you needed to know. And then you, when you go through the design process, you can't unknow it or you can't unsee it. So I can go on and on about this entire topic and certainly onto tangents, but I want to thank you very much for your time, Deirdre Jorson of Eastborough Designs, and I look forward to working with you in the near future.
Deirdre, thank you so much. Does anybody have any questions for Deirdre?
Everybody
Sam
does.
and Mike.
We got everybody.
Hey,
All right, Mike, go ahead.
Thanks for your presentation. Oh, am I
No,
on?
go for it, Sam. Go for it. You've launched. Go,
I
man.
thought you said Sam first. Okay.
I did.
We knocked down a wall between our kitchen and dining room, and we found that we use our dining room a lot more since then.
Mhm.
But are people still doing that kind of thing? Like dining rooms, do they use them as much, or are they actually getting rid of their dining room?
I find that a lot of homeowners are, when you're renovating, are getting rid of the dining room. And like I said, kind of reclaiming that space if it is adjacent. And typically a dining room is going to be next to or fairly close to your kitchen, your prep area. And so, you know, depending on the size of the kitchen or the proportion of the kitchen, you might find that it's disproportionate to the rest of the home. And or that you find that, you know, even if the layout of the kitchen, the footprint is the right size, but the layout's not working, reclaiming some of that dining room space, you know, whether you're now going to convert it into part of it being the larger kitchen and then the other part being, say, like a walk-in pantry, you know, and having more storage space, but incorporating it still into the kitchen layout, I find is something that clients are doing more and more often. You know, when I'm doing a kitchen renovation nowadays, I very rarely do a re, which is a removal and reinstall in the same footprint. The majority, I would say like 95% of the renovations that I see for a kitchen involve reclaiming space, knocking down walls to make the kitchen bigger, or, you know, in knocking down that wall between the formal dining and kitchen, it now kind of takes away that formality of the dining room. And, you know, like I said, it suits now more the more casual kind of everyday eating. And then, yeah, you're like, oh, well, we haven't used this room in, you know, 5 years, or the dining room table has been the place where the jigsaw puzzle has been laid out for months and months and months. That's typically what I see when I walk into homes, is that the dining table is like where the jigsaw and like all the Amazon parcels are, or, you know, somebody's makeshift home office is at the dining room table. So yeah, it's still being done. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mike,
Thank
over to
you.
you.
Or you can turn it into a pool room. Just put in a pool table or something.
Deirdre, a very nice presentation. You did very well. You should be like a guest on podcast or create your own podcast. So my question is do you do commercial design, and where do you see yourself in 5 years?
So commercial design is a completely separate animal. The interior design program that I took at Algonquin at the time was a 3-year diploma program. It's now a 4-year degree bachelor's program. But at the time when I took it, it was very heavily focused on commercial design and hospitality, and very little on residential. And so funny enough that I ended up in residential, but residential design does require more of that personal touch and those conversations, you know, really getting to know the end user. Whereas a commercial designer, you know, you've got the owner of the building or maybe the tenant, and, you know, you still develop, yes, a working relationship. But for me, that is not the part that I'm passionate about. And I like having an impact, a more personal, everyday impact with clients and homeowners, and assisting my contractors. That is what really drives me. And so you might find some interior designers who do both, but a lot of the time you're going to find somebody who specializes in either residential or commercial, because there's a whole other set of rules when it comes to commercial. And not saying that it can't be done, you know, it just requires the research to be able to, you know, do the right thing, and working with the right trades or trade partners. Architectural technologists have to have a different stamp for commercial versus residential. So you have to make sure that you have all your, you line up all your ducks, right? And so, yes, long story short, yes, they are two different specialties. It can be done, but I prefer residential. And so that being said, my vision for myself and my company within the next 5 years is to be able to work with clients who are looking to do the larger renovation, say the whole home gut, the investment properties, the additions, the custom home, the home build, which quite honestly is what I'm doing a lot more now. But I would say with our market, you know, with the fluctuation that we see now financially, being in a position where I am very comfortable and well-versed in both big build as well as renovations is what helps, whether it's a contractor or a designer, kind of float through what could be hard times. Because clients or homeowners who are looking to do a custom home, for example, you know, typically they're not as concerned about the interest rates. It's not that they're not concerned at all, but those funds are probably more readily available. Somebody who's looking to renovate, say, a single space is somebody who is going to be more concerned about those interest rates. And therefore, like right now, I have less clients who are renovating or doing a small, like one room renovation. And I have more clients who are doing the custom build and who are doing the whole home gut. So our market does dictate the type of renovation and design work that I end up doing, and not because I'm being selective. It's just the homeowners that are, you know, that are just more conscientious of where they're putting their funds. A lot of clients, say for example, who are looking to sell and then build new, are now are looking to you know, renovate. That was really, really big during COVID, is, you know, the renovation of the homes for various reasons. And so I think, you know, within the next 5 years, yes, we talk about growth, but I'm not looking to necessarily have, you know, a team of 12 people and an office space and, you know, an online store. It's more growth for me means more you know, being able to fine tune and grow my roster of trusted and vetted contractors. It means, you know, getting my name and my reputation out there. It means being able to photograph more beautiful projects and enter them into the Greater Ottawa Home Builders Association Design Awards, as well as the National Kitchen and Bathroom Association Design Awards. And that gives credibility. And so that is kind of the growth that I'm looking for, the things that I'm looking to do, you know, within the next 5 years. Yeah.
Good.
Okay, so we're gonna over to Tanya. Just we're coming close to time. So your question, simple. You have a long, deep question. Book-a-bam. And over to you, Tanya. Go for it.
I'll try to be quick. I know that the Ontario government is trying to incentivize changing neighborhoods and having walk-up apartments in what was otherwise single-family homes. And also, I heard an interview that Ottawa is actually ideally suited to change some of the apartment buildings downtown into some of the office buildings downtown into apartment buildings. And I'm wondering if any of that is on your horizon.
Not right now in terms of the like apartment respect. there was a really big change in terms of zoning recently. I think it was like this spring that happened to part of the Alta Vista area where the detached single family detached homes, that pocket is now, from what I understand, is zoned to be multi-unit in this area. And that is to, I guess, like increase the door count on a single property. And because there's just such a need for homes and not so much land available for that build. And so a lot of people are looking to build up and have these income properties or have many more doors on one property. And so I do have these conversations with clients who are considering, going that route. So, and that's just, with the change of that zoning. But again, those properties that need to be for sale. And in that area, that is, prime real estate. It is sought after. It's also very expensive. And so, there's a lot involved to even prepare to even have a conversation with clients about that. There's a lot of conversations with mortgage lenders and realtors about even getting started to even get that property or obtain that property. So I like to be part of those conversations early on, because that way too, I'm able to prepare the clients in a way, whether it means come up with a concept plan, a concept design, if you will, where they can take those plans to the bank and say, okay, this is the idea. This is what we want to do. What is the pricing for this? Like, what type of funding can I get for, this type of investment? And so doing that early on, as opposed to, you already have the zoning redone. You already have the property obviously purchased, the zoning redone, really an interior designer, if they can be with you for the duration of the process, even through into construction, it's that you have a knowledgeable guide that can really oversee and understand all the moving parts and details. And not all, decorators, but not all designers are going to be comfortable with that. But being a homeowner myself, having an income property myself, having done the renovation myself, I mean, all of this is certainly value added that I really try and inform my clients and educate them. I've been where you are, right? And that I find, I can show clients and explain to them, these are the mistakes that we made, or this is what we learned from this, or this was a really great thing that we did early on in that process. So again, long drawn out answer, but all that to say, I guess the moves into those government buildings, those office buildings to retrofit and turn into apartments is it's very, very tricky. Not a lot of contractors like working downtown. Not a lot of there's a lot of red tape, a lot of issues or obstacles that you'll come up against. Anytime that you work in a condo, because you've got concrete construction versus wood frame construction. So again, it's just knowing that information, like knowing what's behind the walls is really important. And not all designers are going to have the wherewithal to ask those questions. So, pairing yourself with somebody who has that knowledge or knows where to who to ask is really part of the research that any future homeowner or current homeowner really needs to do. That's it.
Thank you, Deirdre. And sorry, Wendy, we're at almost 8:50, and so we're kind of so this just reinforces, Deirdre has a wealth of information. There's a wealth of content to work with. And in fact, if you have a BAM with Deirdre, perhaps you go out someplace and you have a take a photo or two, even record the conversation. If you're doing it over Zoom, record it, and we'll post it. We can do the snippets, send the information to Tony, and we'll post it, and we'll put it on LinkedIn, etc. Because it just there's volumes of stuff. It's like talking to Guy or Sam or Mike. Each or Wendy or Tanya, Dave. It's just great meets, and I'm salivating already. So that and Susan keeps us smelling right and good. So I'm going to spin us along here. Otherwise, I'm going to ramble on. And I don't want that because I can. If you have any of the services, appraiser, event planner, life insurance, house cleaner, gift basket company, photographer, sign maker, swag, and promotional goods, men's and women's clothing retailer, plumber, and or mobile hairdresser, reach out to Penny Lee. And in fact, if you come across any business that you think that's looking to make a lot more or deeper connections and use community as to support them, have them reach out to Penny Lee. We're more than glad to have them on board. And I'm going to share a screen quickly, just events that are coming up. And I won't go into each and every one of them. You already know about Penny Lee's courses, so feel free. There's a gander of them in there. You got Tony on the Friday afternoons, weekly chair yoga with Jacqueline, so that's kind of good. And if you're going to book a session with Dave now's the time to book for Dave next Monday at noon, right? So that's can't get any better than that. Other things that are now added to the group is next week, December 5th, after hours group with Penny Lee. That's 7 to 8. All members are welcome. Another one that's been added is the 613 Flea Holiday Night Market. So that's with Dwight from Sweet Life, and Friday evening, 5 to 10. Okay, Phoenix Business Exchange. Click the calendar. Click the booking. If you are going, let Tony know. Send Tony $10 plus HST. If you're sending an e-transfer, tell him that what the transfer is about, so he knows that it's whether it's a TLC transfer or it's covering the cost of the event. So that's kind of the key. Stats wise, to share with you, we've had 474 referrals. That means we've referred 474 people to members within the group year to date. Year to date, 458 BAMs, business activity meetings, is what a BAM is. Why is that important? Well, you get to learn about Deirdre's work, and as you can tell, that it's depth and breadth. It's almost like having to have the realtor before the realtor shows up, kind of flesh your house up. What's it going to look like? What are your goals? Then the realtor comes in and helps you move that house if you're looking to sell, right? And so that's $239,000, actually almost $239.5 thousand worth of business transactions year to date. So that's just between members, all right? E-card, 10,895. So if you've been scanning that QR code behind my head, or you've been tapping the card or sharing your QR code, there you go. That's what's happening. And what the beauty of that is, you're transferring information to somebody else. And there's a QR code directory that you can also leverage. And you can find that on the front page of pbex.ca. So pbex.ca. And with that, I'm going to wrap up this part, and we're going to go, hey, tell me how your week's been going. And you know what? Guy, we'll start off with you, sir.
All right. First off, Deirdre, that's an awesome presentation. Wanted to get in the lineup there to make a few comments on that one, but we'll have to make it another day. But yeah, you hit everything on the head there with that. A lot of important information. Week's been crazy. It's Christmas deadline rush for everybody to move in their houses. We're doing the best that we can to get everybody in there. Lining up the trades is not always easy. Everybody's so busy. But quite another job out in Cornwall. Another fire. Next door neighbor caught fire, and the other one got caught in the crossfire. Actually, if you want to excuse the pun, but they anyway. Lots going on. Lots to talk about there. But we'll chat again next week.
Susan Ebbs, over to you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Deirdre. Very interesting conversation, and I didn't know that there was so much involved with interior design. It encompasses so many businesses before you get to the bottom, the finished product. So very interesting talk. Thank you so much.
There should be a lot involved, and right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Because there's so many moving parts.
Absolutely. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, I had a BAM with Terry Black, and we had a good time getting caught up, and so that was a fun time there on, I guess it was Monday we did that. I have ongoing business with Penny Lee and Wendy, and going to be rejoining Penny Lee's dance class. It's well overdue, so her moving to heel class, highly recommend it. And Tony and I have ongoing business with his medium work, and he's helping to whip me in shape. So really and appreciate the help that Tony's been giving me. And well, Deidre, you and I'll touch base next year. So that sounds good. And that's my report. Have a good week, people.
Susan, thank you so much. Dave, over to you, sir.
I have one that's had a good week there last week. Booking a lot of product for Christmas. That's great. And we just wanted to say, Deidre, that's a great presentation. I wanted to have a band with you, so we'll schedule that there later on, hopefully. And that's it for me this week.
Dave, thank you so much. Tanya, over to you, man.
Yeah, fantastic presentation, Deirdre. As has been said, there's just so much to this world that I think most people are just not aware of, and so it's great that you're out there trying to get people to realize, you know, don't just start doing things on your own. There's a lot of help out there that can be useful. So I was part of the Jacqueline show the last week, so I met with her. I went to her and Wendy's seminar on the weekend. And I also was with Ema over the past week because of Jacqueline reminding me to do so. So have a great week, everybody.
Thank you, Tanya. And over to Sam.
Thank you, Bernie. First of all, Deirdre, great job on your first presentation at Phoenix. I know you were somewhat nervous beforehand, but you knocked it out of the park, as they say. You know what I mean when it comes to baseball. But, things gone on. Well, Bernie dropped off his vehicle Sunday night, and I put new rear brakes on his vehicle on Monday. Yesterday, our old friend Harvey Hope dropped by. He upgraded his dash camera to one with parking mode, and I installed that for him yesterday morning. And then yesterday afternoon, our friend Steve Brennickmeyer from the South Group came by, and I finally got his winter tires on his vehicle. A new set of lug nuts, but finally got the new set of tires on. And later this week, Tanya's going to come by and finish off that parking brake issue that she had. That's it.
Sam, thank you so much. And just as a quick sidebar, just to give you a sense of perspective of cost savings, for the amount of brakes I've had done this year, would easily cover the annual membership for Phoenix versus what the dealership would have charged me. So just letting you know, difference in price point, one person. So again, it's just a perfect, understand the nature of the group. Wendy, over to you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Bernie. First of all, Deirdre, I don't know why you were so nervous about the presentation. It was extraordinary. You're very well spoken. You know your business, and it was just a joy to listen to your presentation and learn more about you and your business. And I look forward to our BAM together. In fact, I have many clients who are now looking at multi-generational homes. And of course, we cannot find those on the market very easily. So we have to be creative in how we find a property that has the potential to be what they want it to be. So I think you and I need to have a conversation sooner than later. I will be reaching out to you to book a BAM, and I look forward to meeting you in person. I've got ongoing business with Matt Ladard as well. I've been encouraging all my property management landlords to get their furnaces checked before the hard winter hits us, just to make sure nothing falls apart. Anyway, everyone have a great week. Thank you.
Wendy, thank you so much. Over to Mike. Mike, you have a great singing voice, but with the microphone off, not so good.
Do I have to say Deidre did a great job again? Yeah. So, yeah. Going through your presentation, all the logistics reminds me of young entrepreneurs by going, I'm not going to get an accountant because they're expensive and I can probably do it myself. I'm like, an accountant, a good accountant is free at the end of the day because they can find you so many savings plus save the hassles. And I think that's the same that goes in your profession, because a lot of people doing big renovations, so many logistics or what have you. Oh, I'm not going to get a designer because it's going to be expensive. I'm going to say to them moving forward, yeah, you know what, you're going to probably probably costs you nothing at the end of the day because of the savings and all the hassles and mental health and stress, unnecessary adversities that you can save. That's worth quite a bit too. So good job.
Thank you.
Yep.
Mike, thank you so much. And Tony, over to you, sir.
Thank you, Bernie. Yeah, great presentation, Deirdre. I mean, there is so much to this, and this is why I don't know why people think they can do it themselves. Because if everything is going, it's like that with anything. When everything goes well, you can do it yourself. It's the reason you hire somebody is so that when it doesn't go as well as you planned, now what? You know, and that's when it gets into big dollars. Thank you very much for that. There's looking forward to your next one already. I can't wait to do business with you. I went to Wendy and Jacqueline's I guess home project seminar. That was great. Looking forward to the next one. If you have another one or something that I like to, my mom was commenting that it was really good. Gave her some ideas and so on. And I sent a referral to Alex, our electrician, and gonna be Dave. I'll take those bag of wings if you still have that handy. And I had a BAM with Jacqueline yesterday. We're working on some stuff for a client. Looking forward to there. And that's it for me, Bernie.
Tony, Deirdre, over to you, ma'am.
Okay, it wasn't as scary as I thought it would be, the presentation. So
goes fast, 11 minutes.
Oh my gosh, it goes so fast. But no, I mean, I've done public speaking before, and obviously I have a gift for the gab. But I have a lot of information. And so really the focus for the rest of the week was very similar to what it was last week in preparing for the holidays. And so I find that at this time of year, it tends to be crunch time, or, next thing we know, it's December 20th is upon us, and shoot, it's 5 more days till Christmas, and we try and crunch and get things done, in a really, really short amount of time. And so with my self-awareness, I'm really trying to get better at that. So it's not so much crunch time, and it's more just regular working time. And so we all deserve a break. There's no need to justify why we're taking holidays or how much time we're taking. It doesn't matter if you're owning your business or you work for somebody else or the government or what have you. Time is up. Yes, time is up, and that's really it. Time is really precious, and so we all deserve it. So doing the work that we need to do to get ready for the holidays, to have that downtime, is very important, and that is still my focus, and probably will be my focus until December 20th. So I hope everyone has a great rest of the week. Thank you so much for your encouraging words and support. Hopefully it's shed a little bit more light as to what I do and how complex the design process is. And I look forward to all the requests for BAMs and actually having those BAMs now that they've been requested. So we will speak with you all in the next week or so. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
We promise not to give you any business that has to be done by Christmas.
Please don't. Please don't. Because in case those are clients, you should have seen me in the summer in order to do a Christmas.
It's also a red flag. So.
Well, but it's also part of the education of telling, explain to clients, homeowners, this is how long the design process takes, let alone the actual construction part of the process. Right. And so, when clients are like, oh, I'm going to be off, for the holidays. I'm like, that's great. Which holiday? This one or like next year? Because next year we can do, this one we can't. So sometimes I'm like the bearer of bad news, but it's all, to educate and let clients know. It's not like HGTV where it's 1 hour and everything's done. Right.
Well, they make it look so easy. Yeah.
Oh, they do. They do. Especially when the homeowner is, like I say, she's pregnant in one scene and then she's got her 2-year-old in the next scene, at the end of the renovation or the build. It's like, that wasn't in 1 hour, folks.
Deirdre, thank you. I appreciate the presentation, and there is a lot of forethought. It's not just the aesthetic; it's also how the aesthetic fits in. It's like showing up with a car, like Mike's car behind him right now. It's it's kind of got a blown out airbag, or it's either that or it's covering something. You know, there's a lot that's involved in that space, right? Or even changing the brakes on a car. It's, you know, the brakes, the parts are one thing, but once you open it up, you never know what's behind the wall, so to speak. And done enough home renovations to understand. And not so keen on it always, because nothing ever goes according to plan. And then out comes a hammer, and then, you know, that's not a good result either. Had a BAM with 20 this week, and you already heard about Sam and the brakes, so that's been part and parcel. And we're wrapping up with the quote for the day. It's easy to be different, but very difficult to be